I'd like to introduce Annemarie from England, who has multiple sclerosis. Good morning, Annemarie.
Good morning.
Could you tell me when you were diagnosed with MS?
Yes, it was 2004, which it first started. It didn't get diagnosed straight away because I fell ill. I went into hospital and they didn't know what was wrong with me. They took some blood samples, and after I'd been there for 2 days, I just went completely paralyzed. All I could do was opening my mouth and my eyes. And they just had no idea of what was wrong with me. I'd never had anything like this before. So they told me that it was probably a transverse myelitis. And that was like that for about a good 6 months, until my next attack came. I think it was just after Christmas, and my GP sent me to a specialist in Queen Square, Professor Thompson, and he said, Annemarie, he said, I'm sorry, but I think we're going to have to tell you that it is MS, which was devastating because, transverse myelitis I could cope with, but MS is, as we all know, it's not something that can be cured, and it's a very bad illness. Anyway, he said because I had 2 attacks, I could now go on some treatment, modifying treatment, and they put me on something called Copaxone, which was at that time not new, but not very well known. Beta interferon was much more known, but has got terribly side effects. And I was happy to go on with the Copaxone. And after, I can't remember exactly, but after about 3 or 4 months, I had another attack and another one. So that meant that the Copaxone was not stabilizing me completely. Mm-hmm. My husband desperately trying to research for other things which could possibly help me, and came across Bob Lawrence and his all his research, and got in touch with him, and Bob Lawrence said that he would be happy for me to try it on a very low dose of it, LND. I think that's what it's called, isn't it?
LDN.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it didn't agree with me in the beginning. I was only on 1 milligram, but he said just persevere. But of course, I was given so many tablets, and I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest with you. So I let it lapse for a few months, and then I got another attack. And my husband said, "Well, let's try this LND again." And I did, and I slowly built myself up to about, well, at the moment I am on 4 milligrams. Mm-hmm. And do I dare say I haven't had any attacks for about 3.5 to 4 years after I've been on LDN. Wonderful. And my life has definitely changed. I wouldn't say I'm leaping forward, but I haven't had any attacks, and for that reason, I am slowly building myself up. And I am absolutely convinced that it's the LDN that's doing it and not the Copaxone. And I would love to stop the Copaxone, but I'm frightened. Mm-hmm. So at the moment, I am still carrying on with the 2 in conjunction. And I just cannot thank Bob Lawrence more for doing all this research, because it is definitely much better than the injection. I'm convinced of it. Mm-hmm. So there you have it.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say to other people who are thinking of trying LDN?
Well, I would say persevere. It is difficult to get used to. Your body has to get used to new methods and new drugs and whatever. And it is difficult, but don't give up, because there is definitely what do you call it, a benefit from this. I have absolutely no doubt about it, and I'm hoping that the government will release it so that it can be available to more people.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right. I hope that will come through